someone who's a food technologist at heart, uh, done the undergraduate there, especially she went down the BTech route rather than the BSc route, and we'll probably hear a lot more on that as well. From Anna University, then went on to do her postgraduate as well in the space of food tech under biotech, and she was working in the dairy industry, I think Cavencare, in the R&D department for almost 5 years, and now she has switched industry, so to say, from core R&D into research. So that's also a really interesting move, Padmaja. We'll all love to hear about that. Over to you. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah. What is food technology? What does it mean? The definition says it's the application of food sciences, selection, preservation, etc., and the safe use of food. But the major question I usually get is when I told people I've taken up food technology as my specialization, they were like, "Oh, so you cook well, is it?" Honestly, guys, I'm not proud about this, but I learned cooking only a couple of years back. I started cooking. So before that, I had no clue about cooking, but I had been working in the field for quite some time then. For example, a lot of vegetarians do not get this DHA, etc. Something called DHA. DHA is omega-3. It's a nutrition that is not very prevalent in vegetarian foods. It's very prevalent in fish. So vegetarians do not get much of DHA. So here, supplements and even your everyday beverage powders like Boost and if I have to say DHA in particular, it has Junior Horlicks and other products like this and supplements helps you fill that gap of not having DHA in your everyday diet. The convenient RTE and RTC. RTE is ready to eat and RTC is ready to cook food items. Help us in our fast moving life, make it easier, make it more convenient for us. So ready to eat, as the phrase says, is ready. You can just open the packet and eat it directly, like your Lay's chips, biscuits, etc. And ready to cook are the paste and stuff like Tata has launched even Maggi and MTR upmas and payasam mixes like you guys suggested. The ideation initially. So how does it work? The idea can come from the marketing team, the sales team, the scientists themselves, or even the top management sometimes. So how do they come up with ideas? There are various ways. The most simplest of all is going into the supermarket. When you when you go into the supermarket and come across something that's interesting, you take one pack and say, why not? I'm working in this company, in this brand that makes similar dairy products. Why don't we have this dairy product? And yes, here it goes. But there is a lot that goes into making this idea, finding out if this idea is valuable enough. So the coffee that you generally make at home, be it using coffee powders or coffee decoction, filtered coffee in case of filtered coffee, or cold brew, the coffee itself, when you add it to water or milk, it is acidic. It lowers the pH of the milk. When that happens, milk is at a particular pH, and when you lower the pH of the milk, milk starts curdling. That's what happens when you make paneer, right? You add lemon and it starts curdling, and the water and the solids in the milk start separating. Your challenge is you need a coffee. You need a full drink that doesn't separate. Nobody's going to buy a separate. So here, balancing of the pH is necessary, and then after this part, first we make a base formulation with milk, coffee, sugar, initially to finalize how much coffee powder is needed and how much flavoring agents are required. After this, we will have to add stabilizers and emulsifiers. These give you the creamy feel. Also, to make it viable for 6 months or over 6 months, you see Tetra Paks and tins in the market. Next time you go, just pick it up and turn it around. When you will see that it has a minimum shelf life of 6 months. Some even have a shelf life of 1 year. there is a very common misconception that this is because there are chemicals added, which is not at all true. There are no chemical preservatives added. And for your information, in India, FSSAI does not allow usage of preservatives in milk and milk products. It's illegal to use preservatives because generally milk and milk products are consumed maximum by babies and kids. So they don't want preservatives in something that's consumed by the younger generation. We think it's freshly made, but I think a lot of you, I do know about northern part of India, but in South India, in Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, there's something called Oven Fresh and Fasus and Sweet Truth. All these shops that are very popular on Swiggy available. These people have central kitchens. All these brands are owned by a company called Rebel Foods. So they have cloud kitchens where they make all this in bulk and store it. So these sponges for the cake, when you get a chocolate cake, the sponge is made in a large level. They have huge appliances. So they make it in bulk completely and then freeze it. They have come up with technologies to store food in a way that it doesn't get spoiled for a longer time. So they store it, and then when you order a cake, they take out the sponge, cut it to the standard size, decorate it to use fresh cream, etc., and then it's delivered to you. I'm not saying it's not safe. Again, in these places, they have food technologists working to make this process safe for everyone. So this is a general packet, and Eat Right India is a movement that's started by FSSAI to create awareness on the food labels and what they tell. I just took this picture from their website. So when you turn the package around, the biggest part you see, sometimes it's small also depending upon the size of the pack. The table that you see is the nutritional information. So they generally give, depending upon the pack, there are various regulations. So some packs just say per serving, some packs say per serving and per 100 kg, etc. So what you need to look at most importantly is the per serving values. This gives you the protein, carbohydrates, added sugar that you will be consuming when you have one serving. Sometimes it could be 1 cup, sometimes it could be just 1 spoon, sometimes it could be 1 whole pack, etc. Next is the net weight of the product. And most important, the best before date and the date of manufacture. From the date of manufacture, you calculate the best before date, where you are at, so you know that it's a new product. It's far from expiry. You know how long you're going to keep that particular product. So if you're going to keep it for 6 months, you buy a product that's been recently made. You don't buy one that will expire in a month.